Hello all, this is Aishwarya Devi, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE, Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute. Today, I am going to brief on the topic data models in the subject database management system. So, the subtopics to be covered are definition of data models, types of data models, application of data models, and finally the advantages of data models. So now what is data model? So data model is the collection of tools for describing a data relationship, data schematic and constraints. Data models are fundamental entities to introduce data abstraction in a DBMS. So mainly it is the logical structure. This data model defines the logical structure of a database to be model. So it also defines how the data is connected to each other and how they are processed and stored inside the system. So now we are going to see the topic types of data models. First type is entity relationship model. It is also called as ER model. And the second type is relational model. Third one is object oriented database model. And fourth one is other database models. So first one is entity relationship model. Let us see the entity relationship model. Entity relationship ER model. It is based on the real world entities types. It's a collection of basic objects that is called as entities, and their relationship between the two objects or entity is called as attributes. So ER model is best used for conceptual design of a database. Mainly it is based on entities and their attributes, relationship among the entities. We are going to see one example for this entity relationship model. This is a simple example. It contains entity and different attributes, and the relationship between the two entities are called as relationship finally. So here one example we can say a student database. Here the student is called as entity, and the student have different attributes like student name, age, class, etc. These are called as different attributes, and the relationship between these two entities is called as a particular relationship. We can also say as a bank database. So customer is one entity and another one account is one entity. The two relationship is your bank domain or account, whatever it is. So the relationship, the logical association among entities is called as relationship. The overall logical structure of a database can be expressed by using this entity relationship diagram. Okay. So next let us see the mapping cardinalities. Mapping cardinalities, it's defined the number of association between two entities. Mapping cardinalities can be categorized into one to one, one to many, many to one, and many to many mapping cardinalities. These are the four types in the mapping cardinalities. And the next second type is, let us see about the relational model. This relational model is the most popular model in DBMS. So why? Because it is called as most popular model. It is also called as record based model. Mainly, it is used as a collection of tables to represent both the data and their relationship among the database. This relationship model will be available at the physical level. That is your lowest level of abstraction in the ER model. For example, this is your student database. It contains roll number, name, and the phone number. Okay. Each row is called as tuple. Each row in a relation is called as tuple. The data is stored in a table called relations. The data is finally stored in a relation table. So it can be in a normalized form. We already know that the normalization contains 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, BCNF, everything. So these relations can be a normalized form. Each row in a relationship contains a unique value. It will be more unique, and each column in a relationship contains the same domain value only. This is the best example for relationship model. It is a totally a record based model. Everything is stored in a table. That is the relational model reference. Okay. So ER model, we will store everything in a diagrammatic representation, whereas in relational model, we stored everything in a tables. Next, the third type is object-oriented database model. This object-oriented database model, we are already familiar with the OOPS concept, basic concepts of OOPS as classes, objects, inheritance, polymorphism, etc. So this is an extension of this entity relationship model. So mainly it is also based on the real world situations, and it contains the different objects and different attributes. The elements of object-oriented data model are: first one is it contains object, attributes and methods, classes, inheritance. So these are the types which is contained in the object-oriented database model. And other database types model, other database models or data types model, it contains as a network data model and hierarchical data model. These are the two models of other data types. So first one is network data model. This network data model was created to represent complex data relationship. Nowadays this network data model is not used in many industries or anywhere, because more efficient models are introduced. So, in the network model, the user perceives the network database as a collection of records. So, in this hierarchical model, the network model allows to record a database more than one parent. It contains more than one parent in the network data model. While the network database model is not generally used, I already told. The next type is hierarchical data model. So this hierarchical data model is based on the inheritance concept. So it is a basic logical structure represented by an upside down tree. It's like a binary search tree, you know already. The hierarchical structure contains different levels or different segments. A segment is the equivalent of a file system's record type. In this hierarchical model, it depicts a set of one-to-many relationship between a parent and a children segments. Each parent in hierarchical data model have many children, but each child have only one parent. That is the difference in hierarchical data model and the network data models. Finally, the applications of data models are: it is used in industry specific applications, software industry, educational institutions, law enforcement, and finally banking. Everything this applications is used. And advantages of data models: finally, it is used in data integrity, it gives data independence, it gives faster performance, higher quality, and reduced cost. These are the different advantages of data models. So finally we see the different concepts. First one is data models. What is the definition of data models? Second, what are the types of data models as ER model, relational model, object oriented database model, and other models. And we see about the applications of data models, and finally the advantages of data models. So thanks for listening. Have a good day. Thank you.